Hey guys, Ryan here. In today's video, I plan on covering every major setting you need to understand and know to find the perfect sensitivity. I'm also going to be explaining why you should not be copying streamer sensitivities, and I'm going to go a little bit into that at the end of this video. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy. If you do, you don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe. I just want to say thank you for helping me get past 900 subscribers, and let's get into it. We're going to start with the three most important settings, and these are going to be first, your dead zone, second is going to be linear versus dynamic, and the third is just going to be the numbers for your sensitivity. We're going to start out with what I think is the most important setting, and that's going to be your aim response curve. In your settings, there is a section called aim response curve, and there are three options. You should be using either linear or dynamic, and you really shouldn't be using classic. What the classic aim response curve is the faster you apply pressure to your joystick, the faster you're going to turn. This means you're not going to have too much fine aiming control, and you're also just going to spin really fast if you need to snap onto someone to your left or right. Linear works differently. However far you move your joystick is how far your aim is going to go, and it really doesn't matter the speed that you do it. It is going to be a 1-to-1 input ratio, and this is the setting I use. Dynamic is going to be way better than the standard aim curve. Sorry, I kept calling it classic. It's actually called standard. But dynamic is very similar to standard, but just way better. You have way more fine aim control because it slows down your sense when making small movements, but it also allows you to snap on people and do a lot of quick fancy movements because it has the ramp up speed thing like standard. It's really going to come down to your preference between linear and dynamic. A lot of people prefer dynamic at first, and you're going to notice the vast majority of top streamers use dynamic, but I'm going to make a quick argument for linear. Linear allows you to learn absolute mastery of aiming, and it's going to be something that's a lot more muscle memory based than things like dynamic. This does not mean you cannot have insane aim with dynamic, because just look at tons of top streamers that use it. It is absolutely good. But the main benefit, and I think why it's good for a lot of casual players, is because it's going to allow you to learn aim a lot quicker. When you first start off with linear, long range engagements are going to feel terrible, and it's not going to be that fun to use. But the more and more you use it, the more and more you're just going to feel better. You will directly scale with your time spent aiming with linear. When I miss long range shots with using linear, I know that if I just apply a little bit less pressure, I'm going to aim a little bit less to the left, and that allows me to easily correct it. When using the standard or dynamic aim response, it also is dependent on how fast you move your joystick, so how can you truly build up that muscle memory without adding an extra layer? It's not impossible to aim with these things, and as I said, so many top players do it, but do consider using linear, and do keep in mind that linear is going to feel worse at first. Now, I know that was kind of elongated, and that's 3 minutes in, and we've only talked about these settings, but it's because they're absolutely the most important settings, and it's something you need to have because all of the numbers are irrelevant unless you have the right aim response curve. And this is going to lead us into talking about what should be the numbers you use for your sensitivity. If you are someone who's in close range engagements often, you want a higher sensitivity. If you're someone who's frequently in long range engagements, you want a lower sensitivity. The biggest issue is going to be finding that sweet spot so you're not too weak in either area. If you have too high of a sensitivity, you're going to be useless in long range engagements and you're going to struggle aiming up close. If you have too low of sensitivity, you are not going to be able to track people up close, and people with good movement are just going to embarrass you up close. That's where you kind of have to find the Goldilocks zone, and this is going to probably be between 6'6 and 12'12 for most players. Of course, some people may be able to use something lower or higher, but I would really focus on using 6'6 to 12'12 sensitivity, and also for your ADS sensitivity, I would focus on using something between 0.75 and 1. However, there's another little bit to this that you have to factor in, and that's if you play on console or PC, and this is why I really don't recommend that you copy streamer settings. When you are playing on console at 80 field of view, your sensitivity will be different at 7.7 than if you're playing on 105 field of view. This is something a lot of people don't understand because they haven't played on console and PC both, but the sensitivity is different based on what field of view you use, and that's why you should not just copy streamer settings. You need to test it out yourself, and you need to understand what's the issue with your sensitivity. Are you aiming too slow? Are you aiming too fast? Are you overcorrecting? Are you undercorrecting? Are you not able to keep up with people with good movement? Are you struggling in long-range gunfights? All of these things are factors, and this is why I'm trying to break down the settings like this to give you a bigger understanding and allow you to find the perfect sensitivity for yourself. And the last setting I plan on covering is going to be the dead zone. This dead zone section is very important, but it's also going to go by very quick. You mainly just want to have it as low as possible without experiencing stick drift. If you're experiencing stick drift with your dead zone setting at 0.05, then I would up it by 2 to 3. And if you have to put your dead zone over anything about 0.15, you probably need a new controller. This is a really important setting, but just make sure you have it around 0.05 if possible. The last little thing I'm going to talk about is going to be the aim assist settings, and it's pretty much just going to be leave it as is. You can change it if you really want to focus or precision if it does feel better for you, but most people just use standard aim assist, and that's what I'd really recommend because it really is just better. I tried to fit in as much information as possible while making this video as short as possible, so I hope you understand if I skimmed out on some parts and I really didn't do full breakdowns. But if you have any questions, please ask me down below in the comments and I will happily answer any questions you have. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's been Ryan. I tried to do this as quick as possible. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it actually helped you. Peace.